Hello, I'm Mukala Kabongo, and on this edition of the LCTV News, money secured for Senior Center, Lynn Police Pilot Program, Veterans Day Service, and more. On the Lynn Lowdown, we talked kidney donation. Here's this week's LCTV News for Friday, November 12th, 2021.
This episode of the LCTV News is brought to you by Columbia Insurance Agency, serving the Lynn community for over 60 years with home, auto, and business insurance.
It was a big day for Lynn seniors on Wednesday as State Senator CRIGHTON announced that he has secured $1 million for the creation of a new senior center during the American Rescue Plan Act spending bill debate. The city has been without a senior center since the closing of the last senior center. The estimated cost for a new senior center is approximately $4 million. In 2020, the state delegation secured $200,000 to assist with the cost of a new center. That $200,000 will be added towards the cost of the new center. The city has been working diligently on getting a new center, and this is just another step in the right direction. During Tuesday's City Council meeting, the council unanimously approved a special permit for a laundry business on the LYNNWAY. The new business will take up part of the former Gorelick Farms facility. The new business is estimated to create 40 new jobs. Wash Cycle Laundry, which has location in Philadelphia and Washington, D.C., will make Lynn its third location. Wash Cycle founder Gabriel Manduhan says with the location being close to the airport, it is close to their customers and there's a lot of infrastructure for what they need. To watch the full City Council meeting from Tuesday, visit LYNNTV.org. Earlier this week, Lynn Police Department announced that they have entered into a pilot agreement with Flock Safety. As part of this pilot program, automated license plate reading cameras will be installed around the city to proactively and reactively fight crime. Flock cameras, which is a public safety operation system, will help law enforcement investigate crime by capturing objective evidence. These cameras detect license plates and vehicle characteristics. They do not detect people or faces. The cameras can alert police if a vehicle is associated with a missing person in an amber or silver alert. Approximately 1,400 cities across 40 states use Flock Safety. Over 1,000 police departments use Flock Safety cameras and it has reduced crime by 70%. Early Tuesday morning, a tractor-trailer crashed into a house and 4 parked vehicles on Western Ave, according to Lynn Fire Department. The crash occurred after the driver attempted to avoid hitting an animal on the road. This caused the truck to veer off the road and hit 4 parked vehicles, one of which ended up crashing into a home and hitting a telephone pole. An after effect of the crash was 1,000 gallons of diesel fuel spilling onto the street and spreading throughout several blocks. Nobody was hurt in this incident. The home that was struck was deemed unlivable. Lieutenant Glenn Dunnigan says the driver is being cited for either reckless operation or driving to endanger. On Thursday morning, the city of Lynn hosted its annual Veterans Day breakfast and ceremony at the Frederick Douglass Bandstand on the Commons, and LCTV was in attendance.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars perilous fight.
Balance. Ready? 2.
On Tuesday afternoon, the Lynn Parent Food Mission Group turned in their petition for a change in food vendors in the Lynn Public Schools amid allegations of children being served spoiled food. LCTV was present at City Hall to capture the moment.
But you know, it's been a really tough journey. We started this way back on September 17th, and you know, when my child got served a raw turkey sandwich, but then after we talked to so many parents and all different communities came together, very, very strong. We have attended many school committee meetings and talked to so many, leaders, and all the reporters have been doing you guys' jobs. You've been so amazing following up our story.
So simple. We just don't want our kids to be served moldy, spoiled, rotten food, and they deserve better. We're here to be advocates for them. They might not always speak up or be able to. And so we're here to just voice our concerns, and this is basically the physical manifestation of that in a petition form, and we're sending it into the city clerk today, hopefully get some change real soon.
So in our petition, we're asking for a change of vendor. This vendor is very incompetent of serving our kids really bad food, and we're also asking for quality assurance that going forward that we would have a system in place that our food service department would follow the guideline of DESE, who actually reimburse for all the money from for the state and the federal. Boston Public Schools, they're actually taking food very seriously, 100%. So maybe we can actually follow their guidelines, and going forward, we're asking for 2 dates, package date and also date used by. Okay, because right now Revolution is not doing that for Lynn Public School, and that's not being fair.
We're here just to get the good food on the table as soon as possible. So hopefully passing in this petition with everybody's name on it shows that there's a lot of people in the community who believe we need a change now.
This petition for healthy, safe food for our kids.
Oh, for the children?
Yes,
okay.
for the children. We have over 1,300 signatures.
Awesome.
So we have
Okay, hold on 1 second.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, thank you.
Earlier this week, the Lynn Historical Commission held their annual Significance Award ceremony, and LCTV was in attendance.
This past Tuesday, the Lynn Historical Commission held their 10th and 11th annual Significance Awards ceremony at City Hall.
The Lynn Historical Commission fosters and promotes the identification and preservation of Lynn's significant structures, landmarks, and sites. It is the local commission's mandate to be the local municipal watchdog for the state and federal preservation agencies, alerting them to the local preservation issues.
Every year, the Commission chooses recipients in 4 categories to honor them for the work they do to help preserve Lynn's history. 3 of the categories are focused on physical locations. However, the last category is designated for individuals or groups that have maintained a preservation-minded outlook through all that they do. The honorees in the residential category were Boston Machine Lofts in 2020 and the Stone House on Walnut Street in 2021. The honorees in the commercial, nonprofit, and institutional category were KIPP Academy for their work on the former Blood Building in 2020 and 614 Washington Street in 2021. The honorees in the public/open space category were Lynn City Hall for their recent renovations in 2020, and the newly opened Frederick Douglass Park in Central Square in 2021. The Devotion Awards were given to former director of the Grand Army of the Republic Museum, Bob Mathias, for 2020, and sculptor Reno Pisano in 2021. The Lynn Historical Commission meets the first Tuesday of every month, and you can find out more about them by visiting lynnma.gov. For Lynn Community Television, I'm David Riley Jr.
Last Friday, the Salvation Army held its Red Kettle Kickoff karaoke competition at their Franklin Street location, and LCTV was on hand.
How y'all doing?
All right, I'm Captain Helen with the Salvation Army, and we are here for our Kettle Kickoff. We're trying something new this year, so it's what we're calling Kettle Karaoke. We have a rapper who is going to perform at about 5:30, hopefully if our sound system works. So we're having a little few hiccups, but we're confident that it will work. Day Two Time is a up-and-coming rapper from the Revere area. His mother comes to our church here, and she volunteered him to come and perform for us to kick off our fundraising campaign season. And he donated hats and gloves to be given out, and we have our emergency disaster van that's handing out hot chocolate and coffee, cider, and cookies while people watch him perform. After he performs, the mic will be opened up to other people to come and do, karaoke of sorts, or rap, or do other things. So it'll be a fun night, hopefully. We're waiting for the sound system to work, but it's just a fun way to let people know that it is the kickoff of our fundraising season. And here is Day Two Time now. So, does he want to be on camera? This is Lynn CCTV. Welcome. Good.
How you doing?
Glad to have you here. Thank you for joining us.
Good, thank you. I want to say, hey, thank you everybody coming out here tonight. We have a great, wonderful thing going on here. We're just trying to get back to the community. We support our people. We got to praise the Lord at the same time.
Amen.
And we got to chase our dreams. So everyone knows to come together is the most beautiful thing that you could do. And I want to shout out Salvation Army and all the things that they're doing here. My mother, the captain, everything. It's been a wonderful time already, and we're just getting ready to enjoy ourselves.
And now for the sports update. KIPP Academy's boys soccer team season has come to an end after their 2-1 loss to Westport Tuesday night. After Westport took a 1-0 lead, Marco Escobar evaded defenders and found the back of the net to tie things up at 1 apiece. Westport would respond right before the half to take the 2-1 lead. Westport's defense did a number on KIPP star Marco Escobar in the second half as they surrounded him with multiple defenders. This ends a tremendous season for KIPP Academy and a tremendous career for senior Marco Escobar. Lynn Tech's boys soccer team season also came to an end Wednesday night as they fell to West Bridgewater 1-0 in double overtime. The two teams battled throughout the evening in a scoreless matchup until West Bridgewater broke the tie in double overtime. West Bridgewater advances to the semifinals. Lynn English Bulldogs have now won 5 in a row after last night's 28-7 victory over Newburyport. After a scoreless first quarter, the Bulldogs will go on a time-consuming 62-yard drive that ended with a Jesse Maggs touchdown pass to freshman Edwin Castro to make it 6-0. After a Wesley Chandler fumble in Newburyport territory, the Bulldogs' defense would hold, and Chandler would redeem himself with a touchdown run to make it 14-0. After a Newburyport touchdown, it would be Ernie Paneas who would put the game away with 2 touchdown runs in the fourth quarter and give the Bulldogs their 5th straight victory. The Bulldogs are off until Thanksgiving when they take on rival Lynn Classical. Lynn Tech fell to Lowell Catholic last night 27-0 in a non-playoff game in Lowell. The Tigers, who are now 3-6 on the season, will look to end the season on a high note when they take on KIPP Academy on Thanksgiving. St. Mary's Spartans moved on to the second round of the playoffs after dominating Boston English 34-8 last Friday. The Spartans' backfield had a big day as both running backs went over 100 yards rushing. David Brown Jr. led the rushing attack with the 171 yards to go along with 2 touchdowns. Brown's first touchdown run came on their first possession when he took it in from 17 yards out. On the Spartans' third possession of the game, Brown will go up the middle and take it 76 yards to make it 14-0. Derek Coulonge would get his chance. The junior running back rushed for 138 yards and 3 touchdowns. His first touchdown came from 30 yards out after Boston English cut the lead to 14-8. Coulonge would score again twice more right before the half to give the Spartans the big lead. The Spartans will host Medway tonight in the quarterfinals matchup. Kip Academy moved on to the second round of the postseason as well after their 40-21 victory over Manchester Essex. Victor Maffel was the standout player in this one as the junior returned the kickoff 80 yards for a touchdown and had a 90-yard pick six for the Panthers. Kip avenged their regular season loss to Manchester Essex. Kip is back on the road tonight as they take on Hull in the quarterfinals of the postseason. Lynn Classical dropped their third straight game this past Saturday in a 21-12 loss to Newton South. The Rams struck first after picking off Newton South. Quarterback Brian Vaughn Jr. would throw a touchdown pass to get the Rams on the board first. Newton South would respond with the big touchdown pass to take the 7-6 lead. The score would not change until the fourth quarter when Newton South put together a drive that culminated with a short touchdown run that gave them the 14-6 lead. The Rams would respond with a drive of their own that was capped off with the Brian Vaughn Jr. touchdown run. Newton South would once again respond with the long drive that was aided by an offside penalty by the Rams that gave Newton South a new set of downs. Shortly after the penalty, Newton South would throw a touchdown pass to make it 21-12 and seal the victory. The Rams will look to snap the losing streak tonight as they hit the road to take on Peabody. Boston College football team ended their 4-game losing streak last Friday after defeating Virginia Tech 17-3. Quarterback Phil Djokovic, in his first game back from injury, threw for 112 yards and added a rushing touchdown. In the first, Djokovic would take it in from 3 yards out to give the Eagles the early 7-0 lead. In the third, it would be Pat Garwald III who would punch it in from 3 yards out to cap off an 11-play drive to make it 17-0 Eagles. The Eagles' defense would not allow a touchdown in this one and forced 2 turnovers of the Hokies. The Eagles are on the road this weekend as they take on Georgia Tech. The BC men's basketball team opened their season Tuesday night with a dominant 73-57 victory over Dartmouth. Sophomore guard DeMar Langford Jr. led the Eagles with his 16 points on 8 of 10 shooting. Forward Quentin Post came off the bench and added 14 points. The Eagles shot a high percentage from 3 and from the field, as a team shot 49% from the field and 39% from 3. This was new coach Earl Grant's first victory as an Eagles coach. BC is back on the court tonight when they host Holy Cross. The Boston Bruins are now 6-5 on the season after their 5-3 loss to the Edmonton Oilers last night at TD Garden. In the first, it would be David Pasternak's goal that would give the Bruins the 1-0 lead. The Oilers would tie it up shortly after on an Evan Bouchard goal. The Bruins would regain the lead on a Brad Marchand goal that made it 2-1. Once again, the Oilers would tie it up shortly after on a Zach Hyman goal. The Bruins would strike once more right before the end of the second period when Brandon Carlo found the net to give the Bees the 3-2 lead. The Bruins offense could not muster up any points in the third period while their defense gave up 3 goals in that period. The Bruins are back on the rink tomorrow when they hit the road to take on the New Jersey Devils. The Boston Celtics have now won 3 out of their last 4 after Wednesday night's 104-88 victory over the Toronto Raptors. 6 different Celtics scored in double figures in this one, led by Jason Tatum, who had a team-high 22 points to go along with 12 rebounds and 7 assists. Robert Williams also had an all-around game as he notched a double-double with his 16 points and 13 rebounds. This victory was the Celtics' first home victory of the season. The C's are back on the court tonight when they host the defending champs Milwaukee Bucks. The New England Patriots have now won 3 in a row after their 24-6 victory Sunday over the Carolina Panthers. Once again, the Patriots defense had another great performance as they forced 4 turnovers, including a pick 6 by J.C. Jackson that turned a 1-score game into a 2-score game. The Pats gave the Panthers a heavy dose of their running game as they rushed for 151 yards. Quarterback Mac Jones went 12 for 18 from under center for 139 yards and 1 touchdown. The Pats will look to make it 4 in a row Sunday when they host the Cleveland Browns. Kickoff is set for 1 p.m. On this week's edition of the Lynn Lowdown, we were joined by Brandon Langley and Helen Langley. Here's this week's Lowdown. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Lynn Lowdown, and we got 2 special guests with me today, Brandon and his mother Holly. How are you all doing today?
Hanging in there, man. How you doing?
You know, glad to see this guy. I haven't seen him since our football days.
Yeah, I know, with Malaya yelling at the place.
Yeah, we both getting yelled at by every 3 seconds by Coach Malaya. Man, we're here to talk about a very, very important subject right now. Brandon is in need of a kidney donation. You know, just for me, first, just talk to me when you found out about everything.
Well, I'm very quiet, and I started to feel differently when I started doing wrestling shows, and my feet started swelling up. And so when I went to the doctor, they're like, you have stage 5 kidney failure, and you have only 15% left. So that was a huge shock, being like a young age, being like, you know, our age and having kidney failures, in which, you know, I don't drink or smoke.
Yeah.
So it was a big, hard kick in the teeth when you realize it. But after you pass that little motion on the road, then you're good to go.
Did they tell you the cause of it? Or
hereditary.
Oh,
it was hereditary. Hypertension, severe hypertension, which affects a lot of blacks and Spanish people. And mine was severe.
Yeah. Mom, what was your reaction when he first initially told you about this?
He didn't tell me.
Oh, he didn't? Yeah, how'd you find out?
He didn't want to tell me because he didn't want me to worry.
Mm-hmm.
I found a piece of paper, and all it said was complete kidney failure, 15%. And I went to our pharmacist, Sabino, and he looked at me and said, "Is this you?" And I said, "No." He said, "We have a problem." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" So he knew Brandon from picking up my medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And he just said, "Let him be. Let him come to you. I know why he's not telling you." But I couldn't do that. I couldn't let it go.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you both find out. You eventually find out. You know, what was the process that you all were planning out afterwards? You know, what was the mindset moving forward?
I'm going to every appointment. I'm going to be there because I've learned Brandon was with me through my things, and there would be things that he picked up that I may not have picked up, or that I thought because of my nerves, and I wanted to be the same backbone for him. I'll pick up with you. And then it was like just a mother's instinct. I was becoming a pit bull. The Kidney Foundation was now going to be my thing, not only for my child, but for anybody, because I know nothing.
Yeah.
So I just study, I learn, and I go with them.
And your niece, who she reached out to us, she's been your cousin. She's been very instrumental in helping with this. You know, can you just talk a little about that?
My voice, technically.
Yeah. It's just a lot to handle. You know what I mean? Like I said, being this young, and I'm like thinking about it now. I could be the voice of the Kidney Foundation because there is a few people that I know who had kidney failures and actually succeeded. And I know my baby cousin has the same thing, but he needs 3 new kidneys. So if I can help out
in his life, he's only 10.
So if I can help out with my kidney and his and everyone else's, and just like a match, it won't work for me, but it can work for someone else. So if we can get into that and have a lot of people understand, like, being an organ donor and stuff like that, and giving your life is the best thing.
And Lily is also like the researcher. You know, Lily focuses. If I say one word to Lily about Brandon, she will Google it, figure it out, reach out to you. I had no voice. My is in my throat. So, yeah, it's a rude awakening. And Brandon just had surgery on Wednesday.
How'd that go?
If you have a tube in your chest, I mean, it's like right here. I mean, I would show it to you, but
he hasn't even looked at it himself.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him. That also, me doing a little research of myself, I found out that 35% of African Americans have living with kidney failure in the U.S. and African Americans make up 13% of the population. So, and there's a list of reasons why that is. It could stem from racism, racism in medicine, and it's just a long list of those. So it's a scary thing too.
You have to have people on your side. If it was you, your family, sometimes you may not speak up. Brandon's very quiet. You know Brandon. I'm the polar opposite. Like, I think when he got the first MRI and when he was in the hospital and the doctor said, we don't do that. No. You will treat him as he's your brother or your son. But what we won't do is we won't just send him home. And they knew. And the doctor, I have to say, came back with another doctor, apologized, and said, we found something. And it was a lesson for him that you cannot just go by the book all the time. If you're telling him something and you know what you're feeling, I suggest to people, stick with your guns. They're just doctors. They're learning too.
That's another thing with medicine too, because there's so many stories of African Americans, male and women, a lot of women, when they go to the hospital and they tell the doctor they feel something is wrong with them, and the doctor tries to tell them there's nothing wrong with them, and then later on they find out there was something wrong with them.
You have to fight,
and you have to get that second, third opinion, and you gotta keep the pressure on them, because some of them, if you don't keep the pressure on them, they could do what that other guy probably did and try to send them home.
Yes, and I'm definitely with Brandon. Again, I will say you have to be your advocate for yourself. Again, he's quiet. You have to fight. You cannot just give in to what they say. They are doctors, they have degrees, and we can respect them. But as an African American woman, as you know, we can be pushed to the side sometime. And one thing you won't do is you will not treat me and those that I care about or love like that. I will not allow it. I may not have your education, but I have sense. And if you are telling me that you don't feel good, I will go to fight for you all the way, and we will find an answer.
It's also important that you were able to find out too before it got even worse, because what if you didn't go to the hospital or something and you just felt like it's just some regular pain that I could deal with?
What happened was I took a couple blood tests just for regular physical, and my doctor's like, just go to the hospital, because apparently I was peeing on my potassium. And I was there for like probably 10 days. And for the longest time, they couldn't find anything. They couldn't find anything until, my mom said something, and they found like a tumor in my adrenal gland, and my kidneys wasn't functioning because of the hypertension. And like I said, it's a lot to handle. Just being a certain age, but it's just a bump in the road.
What is the next phase? He had the surgery. He had the surgery on Wednesday.
Yes.
Now, what is the next process?
Well, the next stage for Brandon is dialysis. Through all of this testing, they found that Brandon has a clogged artery. So that's the next stage before we can move on, because they will. In Brandon's case, they go in through your wrist, and they go up into the heart, and then they put a stent in. But because Brandon is starting to lose such low numbers, 4%, and now not going to the bathroom as regular, which means he's not flushing, they have to put contrast dye in. And they could not do it without the port because contrast dye is most likely going to cause Brandon's kidney and liver to stop temporarily, which is in itself a wreck for me, nerve-wracking for him. So that's the next step, which again, he'll be back in a surgery room within the next 2 to 3 weeks. And then we can move on to looking for a kidney, and we're asking people to please think about it, talk about it. I'm not saying it's something that you can go lightly, but it is my child, my man-child.
Yeah, and we got a couple minutes left, but please let everyone know where they, for any information where they can go reach out or to find out about the kidney donor information. Please let them know the websites and all that.
Do you know the website?
Is I think you do.
Yeah, it's www.leahylivingdonor.org. You go on, you just fill out the paperwork. They will ask you who or what. You put in Brandon Langley. His birthday is 3/22/87, and they will tell you immediately whether you've passed the first questionnaire, and if you have, a nurse will contact you within a week. And whoever does it, we really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you both for coming on and talk about this subject. This is a very important subject. And once again, African Americans make up 13% of the population, and there are 35% of people that deal with kidney failure. So that's.
And we need to stick together. Whether you're African American, Hispanic, a minority, stick together. Feel free, call me, reach out. I'm learning, but I'll help you.
Definitely. For those, once again, go to the website, fill the questionnaire out if you want to help. And you guys have been watching the Lynn Lowdown. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much for having us.
No problem. Thank you guys for coming on.
Thanks, man.
On a Friday. And now time for local events from the community calendar. Beginning on Saturday until Sunday, the Catholic Collaborative, along with St. Pius and Holy Family parishes, will be hosting their food drive for Thanksgiving. Volunteers will fill Thanksgiving baskets and replenish food pantries for the holidays. For more information or donations, contact Kathy at 617-510-4085 or Karen at 978-387-1215. Beginning on November 14th until November 20th, the Lynn Tech Alumni Association's 7th Annual Festival of Trees will be displayed for 1 week. This Festival of Trees schedule are as follows: Sunday from 12 until 7 p.m., Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. until 7 p.m., and Saturday, November 20th from 12 p.m. until 6 p.m. For more information, contact Diana Badger at 978-815-2478 or email lynnfestivaloftrees@gmail.com. Horizons for Homeless Children will be hosting their virtual orientation this upcoming Thursday from 6 p.m. until 8:30 p.m. This orientation is for anyone interested in volunteering 2 hours of their time to interact with homeless children in Lynn, Chelsea, Peabody, or Lawrence. For those interested in being a volunteer, they should contact horizonschildren.org/playspace or call 774-260-2612. To find out more about the community calendar, visit LYNNTV.org. Thank you for watching the LCTV News. Make sure to subscribe to the LCTV Facebook page as well as the LCTV YouTube channel. Also visit LYNNTV.org to watch any show at any time on your computer, phone, or tablet. I'm Mukala Kabongo. Have a great day.